Before we get started with today's video, I want to talk to you guys about the OneFootball app, because the OneFootball app is the app that I will be using throughout the World Cup to make sure I am staying up to date with all of the latest news, whether that be manager press conferences, early team news, player statistics, the group standings, anything. The OneFootball app is the place to be for all of your news at this World Cup. And then of course after the World Cup we will be back with club football, where OneFootball really has you covered, with match highlights of things like the DFB Pokal, La Liga and Liga Portugal, as well as full coverage of the Serie A, which includes a game that you can watch live for free every week. That is all to come after the World Cup. During the World Cup there is loads of content on the OneFootball app, so make sure to check out the link in the description down below and download the OneFootball app today. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where I am sorry, right? I know I said we were moving on to World Cup content now. I do just want to do one last Manchester United video because I want to talk about Erik ten Hag. Then after today we'll get onto the World Cup stuff, and that will be the main focus for the next month. But I want to talk about Ten Hag, the job he's doing, the ups and downs that he's faced, all of that good stuff. Now I did do something kind of similar a few weeks ago, but that was a little more tactically based. Now we will allude to that during the video, but in this video I wanted to talk about some of the issues he's faced as well. That video was a lot of the tactical changes and the progress that the team has been making. Ten Hag has faced issues as well off the pitch, and I think he's managed those situations pretty well as well. United are not on a smooth line of trajectory like this. They're not smoothly going up like this, but even if you do that, it's still progress. You're still moving in the right direction, even if you keep having those setbacks. That's kind of how United have been this season. It's kind of 2 steps forward, maybe 3 steps forward, then a little step back, and then 3 steps forward, a little step back. That is still progress. And from where Manchester United were last season, I think that's a very good thing that Ten Hag has been able to do that. And it started by the fact that I think he recruited very well in the summer. Now, in terms of actually the summer transfer window itself, I don't think United operated that well. I think players came in too late, and then they came in for too much. Now, that is not Ten Hag's fault. Ten Hag said the players he wanted. United got some of them, didn't get others. The price thing is because United acted so slowly. Particularly with Antony from Ajax. Ajax lost several players in the summer, but the players that they were losing earlier in the summer, they were letting go for a lot cheaper fee. If United had acted a lot earlier, we knew Ten Hag wanted these players from early. If United had done it early, they would have saved themselves a good 50 million over the summer. But they didn't. That's not Ten Hag's issue. In terms of the players that he has brought in, Malacia, Eriksen, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Antony, they have all improved Manchester United and helped Manchester United at some stage already this season. So, in terms of that, transfers, box ticked for Erik ten Hag. I think he's been really good. However, despite a good transfer window, it wasn't a good start to the season, with pretty poor and quite embarrassing defeats. The Brighton one wasn't embarrassing as such, it was just really disappointing because United had a good pre-season. We all went into that first game with the hope of a new season, a new start. It didn't go very well, and then absolutely destroyed by Brentford. And a lot has changed since then. In terms of tactically, Manchester United was set up like this for that Brighton game. Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire and Dalot in the defence, Fred McTominay in midfield, and then Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho behind Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen starting up front seems like a very long time ago. In that game, United were terrible. They had no real intensity. They were just very, very poor. And what they really lacked was an ability in this midfield here to do anything. They were so bad on the ball. What did Ten Hag do? He reacted. He dropped Scott McTominay. He brought Christian Eriksen deeper, going from striker to now a player in a double pivot alongside Fred, and brought Ronaldo in up front, who was now available for the first time this season. And the reason that Erik ten Hag done this was to get Eriksen in deeper areas, because of his ability on the ball. Fred and McTominay were so bad on the ball in that first game. Ten Hag felt that he had to do something to get a ball player deeper, and this is kind of stuck as the season has gone on. Although actually, still in that game, Eriksen wasn't very good on the ball either, and again, he was caught out. And it was a really bad start to the season for Manchester United. I am just going to quickly interrupt because we do have another sponsor for today's video, and that is JerseyFIFA.com, the website you need to head to right away to get yourself the latest and greatest football shirts, all at an extremely affordable price. The link will be in the description below, so head there right away to get yourself a great shirt, again at a great price. Now back to the video. Now what we saw after this was the first glimpse of Erik ten Hag at Manchester United showing his tactical flexibility. His ability to go, okay, the plan in the first 2 games didn't work, I've got to take that on the chin, we need to adapt. And what we saw was a change in approach from Manchester United. And that started with a change in the 11. 2 of the big changes that we saw around this time of the season were Malacia and Varane coming into the team. 2 players who are much more agile, quick on the turn, more aggressive in the way that they defend. than Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. So that was the first change. United going for a more intense defence. We also saw Scott McTominay come in for Fred in midfield for his ball-winning ability. Fred is awful at winning the ball. McTominay's good. He's not the best in the world, but he's decent. We saw Jadon Sancho move to a left wing and Marcus Rashford brought in up front. So the Eriksen and Ronaldo up front experiment didn't work. Rashford was now brought in up front, and is that his best position? I don't think so. I think he's best on the left wing. He says it himself. But he brings a different intensity, a different threat to what Ronaldo does. He presses higher than what Ronaldo does. He works a little bit harder, but also offers that threat on the counter-attack, as does Elanga on the right wing. It's kind of a similar situation. It's what he does off the ball with his intensity, his hard work, but also then his directness on the ball as well. And what it's done was led to United finally getting some results. And despite those first two horrible results of the season, United changed to this new method of approach, I guess. Beat Liverpool, beat Southampton, beat Leicester, beat Arsenal, and only conceded 2 goals along the way. So that's pretty darn decent. And again, it is thanks to Ten Hag changing. So again, I think that's really good from Ten Hag. Kind of accepting that right now Manchester United can't play how he wants them to play. So changing it, changing the approach. However, we did then see another change of approach, and it came because Manchester United lost to Manchester City and were just off it in that game. And I think Ten Hag realised at that point that, okay, we need to change approach again. We can't be a transitioning team, we do need to try and get a bit more control on the ball. Now, do United still transition at times? Absolutely yes, because this squad is not perfect. But we are now seeing slightly more attempt to control the ball a bit more, and a lot of this has come from Casemiro being brought into the team. Now, when Casemiro was signed, I think we all thought he was going to come straight into the side in the place of Scott McTominay, and that would be that. But actually, during this patch where United were getting results, Casemiro wasn't actually playing. He was kind of getting 20-minute cameos at the end of games to help see the match out, but he wasn't starting. But after that loss to Manchester City, it seemed like Ten Hag went, okay, now is the time to get Casemiro in the team, and United really haven't looked back since then. Casemiro has been one of Manchester United's best players this season, and it's his ability on the ball, off the ball, everything, he just makes a massive difference. Now, to be fair, it was a little bit harsh on McTominay for him to be brought out of the team, because he was playing well, he was in good form, but we just know Casemiro is different gravy, he's a different level. We all know the amount of Champions League titles he's won, the La Liga, he has won everything in club football in Spain. And there's a reason for that, he's a very, very good footballer. Now, people were talking about him kind of coming to United for a last paycheck, not the case. This guy oozes class in terms of what he does with a football and tactically how he plays, things like that, but also just the way he acts, the way he handles himself, a true professional and genuinely a great role model for the rest of the squad. So even if he isn't at Manchester United very long, I think the effect that he can have on the younger players around him is massive, and I don't think we can really talk about that quite enough. I think that's a really, really important thing about Casemiro in this team. And what we've also seen, he is class as a footballer. He has brought a different level of ability. We all know that he's an excellent ball winner. What that is doing, is helping United press higher up the pitch because Casemiro gives them that protection behind the midfield, that ability to sweep up, win the ball, and set United off on the attack again. But I think what we kind of didn't expect was his ability on the ball. I have done a separate video on that, you can go find that on the channel from a couple of weeks ago. On the ball, he is... I'm running out of words. He is so good on the ball. We didn't really see it at Real Madrid because of the likes of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. They were the ones responsible for getting the ball moving forward. Casemiro's vision is really, really good, and it is so clear of any other Manchester United player. The little passes which he will receive with his back to play here, and he'll kind of get pressed from behind, and he'll flick a ball out to the right wing. Speaking of which, on the right wing, that's somewhere else we've seen a change as well. Elanga done his job while he was in the team. Antony has come in as well, and again, he just fits the system so much better. I think people were kind of questioning Antony's start at Manchester United a little bit, saying he's a little bit slow, maybe a little bit one-dimensional, a little bit predictable. To those people, what I would say is look at Manchester United in the last 3 weeks. Because he kind of had 6 weeks where he was in the team, that's that patch we're talking about now. If we now fast forward to the last 3 weeks, he has been out with injury. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. Antony has now been out with injury, and United do not look the same without him. That's probably the biggest praise you can give him. So people were kind of questioning his impact, questioning is he too one-dimensional. United are so much worse without him. He has missed several games for injury recently, and United aren't the same without him. So again, it is good recruitment from Ten Hag like we were talking about at the start. Despite these positives that I'm talking about, one thing I need to make really clear is this. Manchester United are far from complete. This is really a work in progress. In terms of if Erik ten Hag is going to win a Premier League title with Manchester United, so many of these players that have been involved this season already will not be involved in that process. It's as simple as that. It might be some fan favourites, there might be some that people are glad to see gone. The players that have featured so far this season will not be in this team in the long term. Some of them will, of course, and they will be the base for it, but there are certain players that just aren't going to be involved. This is massively a work in progress. United have got to a point now when everyone is fit, including Antony, Varane, Martial. They look good. They do look good. But it's still a long way off. Decision making in certain areas just not good enough. Taking an extra touch, taking an extra pass. United rush too much. In terms of controlling tempo, United don't do it well enough still. Ten Hag won't be happy with that. He has said several times in interviews that he's quite an impatient guy. He wants success right now. He wants to win the league today. So he will be frustrated. As well as things have been going, he will be very frustrated because United still, they aren't there. Let's not get carried away. United are not there. Some of these performances aren't good enough. The performance against Fulham, not very good. West Ham, not very good. Aston Villa, not very good. Aston Villa, the cup game, 1.5, not very good. There's a lot of work for United to do. There's a lot of work for Ten Hag to do. But I think he has been doing a lot of positive work already, and I think that should be the focus. Look at someone like Marcus Rashford, for example, but also Diogo Dalot. Players whose careers were really at threat of stalling at Manchester United. There were people in the summer that wanted Marcus Rashford gone for £20 million. That is the point that he had supposedly gotten to. That is ludicrous. He looks so much happier playing football this season, and that is just such a good thing to see. Ten Hag deserves a lot of credit for that. He's clearly put a lot of faith in him, whether that's on the left wing, whether that's up front, sometimes as a second striker, one game out on the right wing. Ten Hag has a lot of faith in Rashford, and I really like to see that. But like I said, he's also improved Diogo Dalot, he's improved Luke Shaw as well, massively, which is important. He's just making players better. Whilst he's been doing all of this, he's improved United tactically, he's improved them mentally, the intensity, he's improved confidence of players like Marcus Rashford, he's improved the ability of players like Dalot, Luke Shaw. Whilst doing all that, he's been battling some stuff off the pitch as well. And one of those things is Harry Maguire. Now, when I say battling the Harry Maguire issue, Maguire hasn't done anything wrong. Maguire has acted as a professional the whole way through, but it's still an awkward situation. We all know the headlines around Harry Maguire. Every time he plays, he kind of makes a mistake, and that is the headline. He is actually the club captain. I think Ten Hag has dealt with kind of easing him out with the team really well, but he's done it in a way that he didn't just scrap him. He hasn't just completely got rid of him. It's not like he's been chucked off the face of the earth. He hasn't been disrespected. He still gets game time here and there. He is used in certain games. I think Ten Hag has dealt with that really well. That could have been a big issue this season. We kind of haven't really spoken about Harry Maguire too much at all. And I think that's a credit, again, to Ten Hag. He's clearly an intelligent guy, a really intelligent guy. Another one of the reasons, though, that we haven't been talking about Harry Maguire is because of this guy. Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, this probably needs an entire video to itself, but I'll be honest, I can't be bothered with it because I don't care. The Ronaldo issues off the pitch, I don't know, in terms of what he's doing on the pitch, not good enough. I will quite happily say that. I think United do look better when he's not on the pitch. People aren't going to like that, but I do think it's true. I think United are a more cohesive unit without Ronaldo in the team. In terms of what he's doing off the pitch, the interviews with Piers Morgan, leaving the match early, I think Ten Hag is dealing with it really well. Because this is a big issue. This is front page of every paper. This is a massive issue. But Ten Hag is kind of managing it. And I think what shows that he's managing it is what we're seeing from other players. The progress of other players. The results. Last season, there were times when certain things would come up in the squad, a certain player would be unhappy, and it completely derailed Manchester United, particularly under Ralf Rangnick. There were players where player A would come out and be unhappy, and the whole dressing room just crashed. We heard stories every week about like combustion in the changing rooms. That isn't happening. So that is why I think Ten Hag has dealt with this well. I would say the only kind of mistake he's maybe made with the Ronaldo situation was captaining him the other week. I feel like that maybe a little bit kind of went back on some of the work he had done. But in general, I think he's managed the situation pretty well, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because I don't get it. If you want a video on it, let me know, but I just don't. I don't get what Ronaldo's doing, but you know what? He can do what he wants. He's probably the best footballer of all time, so he can do what he wants, really. In terms of Erik ten Hag, That's the guy I want to focus on, because this guy is the future of Manchester United. We can talk about players like Ronaldo, players like Wayne Rooney, Gary Neville are in the news. I don't care. Erik ten Hag is the future of Manchester United. What he is building here is the future of Manchester United. Like I said, it is a work in progress. Absolutely, it's a work in progress. It's going to take time. United are not going to challenge for the league this season. United aren't going to be top 2 this season. They'll struggle for top 3. They'll struggle for top 4. It's going to be a real good battle. But that doesn't mean there isn't progress. United are improving. Like I said, even if it's 3 steps forward and a step back, that is still progress. You are still moving forward. And that is what United need at the moment. Before the season started, that was what I was asking for. A better attitude, a better connection with the fans, a clear direction of where United want to go. Ten Hag is doing that, and he's done it in a really short time. His transfers all look good. All the players he's brought in are playing well. I love the guy. I think he is doing a brilliant job. And hopefully, you guys will agree in the comments down below. If you don't, let me know why you disagree. If you do agree, put some Erik ten Hag love in the chat, because he really does deserve it. I think he's doing a great job. Manchester United is maybe the most scrutinised football club in the world. In terms of headlines, clicks, social media, it's always Manchester United. Whether it's positive or negative, it's always Manchester United. It's just how it is. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world. Ten Hag is dealing with that incredibly well. He handles himself so well in press conferences. He defends his players. When United are doing well, he makes sure to bring them down a bit. When they're doing bad, he makes sure to bring them up. It's brilliant management, and I just really like him. And that's why I wanted to do a video on it. That's pretty much all there is to say. I probably could go into it a bit more, but I don't think we need to today. Let's now focus on the World Cup. And again, let me know the World Cup content you'd like to see in the comments down below. But that is all for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. And as always, I will see you in the next one.